Greetings, this is Skylar Saunders Singh. What's current? Let's just kick it off with the video. Hold on. Let me make sure I get this straight. Okay, great. All right. I just want to start with this video. It's kind of like a cold opening. Let me see. Okay.
Story that will send shivers down your spine after a St. Louis woman found out more than she ever wanted to know about the home she's renting. It sounds like a horror movie, but instead it's a real-life nightmare for this woman. She signed the lease without any fears, but it wasn't until a family member told her to check out a cold case documentary on the A&E network about serial killers. That's when she found out she was living in the same house serial killer Maury Travis used as a torture chamber. The landlord even gave her the same dining room table found in crime scene photos.
When she showed us the house, she was like, you guys can have this table if you want. Yeah, same chairs, same table, everything. This whole basement was basically his torture chamber, and it's not okay.
Now, when the woman called her landlord begging to get out of the lease, the landlord wasn't sympathetic. Get this. You may want to know the landlord is the killer's mother. The landlord says only material defects need to be noted to renters, but the woman says she will be moving at the end of the month, and that can't come soon enough.
Wow.
All right, so there you go. That was the little bit of hold on. That was the little bit of. Everybody saw it? Okay, good. That, my friends, Muhammad is. That's more your people. No, not at all, Texas. But thank you for coming in here. Appreciate you, sir. Maury Travis, horrible, terrible, no good, very bad person that is no longer here at his own hand. That shouldn't have happened. He should have been leveled either life imprisonment without the option for parole, or got the lethal injection. He should have got one or the other. This is a monster, a black monster, a terrible human being. What made him a bad person? Let me see. He killed at least 12 women, with more suspected, and he was not that bright. There is no God, but thank God he was very stupid. He strangled women. He strangled mainly streetwalkers, prostitutes. He was known as the Streetwalker Strangler. And one of his key points in his reign of terror was the fact that he kept videotapes. He had a camera etched into the wall. He had a cutout of the wall and placed cameras, or at least one camera, to killing. Okay, Texas, now you're trolling. You can troll me, but don't troll serious situations. I'm being 100% colorectal anal cancer serious. This guy was no good news. He was not a prince. He was a terrible human being. Anyway, Maury Travis, excuse me. Maury Travis, me too. Okay, great, Texas. Bring yourself into the authorities. Give yourself up. Be a man. This wasn't a man. This was a coward. He was a child. He had a child's brain. He taunted. He sent letters to journalists saying that he would kill again. Saying that he has more bodies. I wrote in my piece that the late great Paul Mooney once said about a serial killer. He was talking about mainly white serial killers, I think, but this applies to a black serial killer. He said, I'll show you where some more bodies is. That's exactly what Maury Travis did. He pretty much did that. And he was not bright at all. During an interrogation session, they asked, you want some soda? You want something to drink? And then he took the soda, drank it, discarded it in the trash. And guess what they did? They swabbed it for DNA. They swabbed it, took it to the lab, and linked his DNA to 2 more bodies that were discovered. Not a bright guy, not a methodical murderer. Thank God. There is no God, but thank God. Texas is saying you're an atheist, so why would you think killing is wrong? In the Bible, it says not to kill. So where do you get your moral compass from? I get my moral compass from existence, metaphysics, and after that, epistemology, reason, and after that, ethics of selfishness, self-interest. It's not in your self-interest to kill people, to murder people. You can kill people. Police officers and people in the military kill people all the time, but murdering someone is against all tenets of objectivism. Obviously, that doesn't hardly even need to be said. But I guess it needs to be said for Texas. Look up Ayn Rand's The Virtue of Selfishness, and then you may get a glimpse into the reality of morality. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I did. Texas, self-insert would be objective, though, wouldn't it? I don't know what you mean. Self-insert? What is self-insert? Did you spell check that? Did your spelling go crazy? What is self-insert? You mean interest? Because a serial killer don't think killing is wrong. Well, sometimes it's not even about. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just going off of facts. I just go off of facts. Go off of the textbook. He was a textbook murderer. He was a textbook serial killer. He brutalized animals. He brutalized insects and stuff like that in his youth. He said himself that he was messed up in the head since 14. He didn't give any indication as to why. He just said it like that. I think that's very disturbing. I think that's very it undercuts any good that he might have done in his life. He was like the neighbors say, he was quiet, he was kept to himself, he was shy. But when he turned those tapes on, he said, the women had to repeat, "You are the master, I am nothing," or something like that. I'm just paraphrasing the last part. But he videotaped this stuff. Like he was like mounting evidence. He was mounting evidence in the way of incriminating himself. Then the coward took his own life because he knew he wouldn't be able to. He said himself, I'm paraphrasing this as well. He said he didn't want the needle and he didn't want to be in prison for the rest of his life. So he took it into his own hands. That is vicious and ugly and disgusting for the families and the victims that he brutalized and murdered. So Maury Travis was an African American serial killer who did not have any regard for life, for human life. And the most vulnerable people in society, prostitutes, runaways, things like that, they took the worst of it. Only because he couldn't figure out his own life. Only because he couldn't see the facts of of reality. He denied it. Okay. It says 0 people are in here, but Carnage is still in here. Texas. Crazy that he and you will end up in the same place, eternal damnation, because you won't go back to Jesus. No, not at all. I'm not worried about where I'm going. I'm here. This is all that matters. This is eternity. We're living in eternity right now. I'm not worried about hell and lake of fire and being tortured and terrorized, and I'm not worried about all that. I'm worried about my life right now. My life is beautiful. Okay? So, just to let you know, Texas. Maury Travis. As you saw in the clip, in the news clip, she showed how he like the place was cleaned. I guess there were blood marks on the walls. He was planning a whole section for cells for women to go into. For these women to go into, he had cells planned. He had a whole outline plan, like a very rough sketch of what he wanted in his dungeon. I mean, this guy was way out there. He was off the chain. In particular, he dominated this woman, and not even in fashion of, which is sick too. But it's legal. Not in the same way as the different people that conduct these things in pornographic films and things like that. Those are legal. Domination and all that, wild sex stuff, that's legal. As long as it's consensual and they're over 18 years of age, fine. But this guy took it to the next level. He not only brutalized him, he killed him. Curious, why are we talking about black serial killers? Well, I got the tip from the man on high. Mr. Troystar Terrain said, why don't you talk about black serial killers? So I'm like, you know what? That'd be interesting. I always thought about black serial killers. You, of course, Texas, about one black serial killer you brought to my attention that I forgot about, but I remember his name now. I'm just going to say his initials, SL. You can put it in the chat. But I think it's pertinent. I think it's very important to discuss, because it's a weird thing. It's like, you're not trying to celebrate these people. You're not trying to uplift them or show them, but media is weird. It's like, it almost says like, oh, well, black people aren't smart enough to be serial killers and get away with it. Well, he didn't get away with it, but it's kind of like, your Ed Gein or Ed Gein. I think it's Ed Gein. And then, John what's his name? John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy, all these different serial Charles Manson, even though he didn't, carry out the murders himself, he made a cult around himself, and that's what perpetrated all those crimes. But with the black serial killers, they're hardly ever talked about. They're hardly ever highlighted and shown like, okay, Negroes can do that too. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Not, like I said, not in the sense of, a matter of achievement or anything like that. It's all in the fact, just to highlight how and why, and psychologize so that there are no serial killers. There's a very few amount of criminals in the United States, especially, but even in the world at large. There are different places like El Salvador and places like Venezuela that have very high crime rates, but that pales in comparison to the overall, populations of the globe. There are 330 million people that live in the United States. There are 2 million people locked behind bars. There may be 5 to 10 million criminals. That's still only a fraction of the amount of people that inhabit the United States of America. Oh, hold on. I got to take this. Oh my God, where is it? One person in here. Is it Kareem TV or is it Texas? I see Kareem TV. Yo, Sky. What you up to? Very unprofessional, Sky. Are you on the perk 30? Oh, snap. Sky tripping balls. Star must have called him. No, Star did not call me. But I appreciate you both for being here. Oh, my goodness. Good thing you couldn't see that. But anyway, Maury Travis. Horrific. Terrible. The lowest of the low. But they exist. There's a serial killer right now. Or serial killers right now. In the midst. In our world. In our country. In our states. In our cities. There's dungeons with people in them. Right now, your next door neighbor, to the left and the right of you, could be left and right, could be, harboring, victims. But Maury Travis was, he was not that bright. I guess that's the reason why they don't cover, a lot of black serial killers, because the serial killer, the black mind is great, but the black serial killer mind, I don't know. But then again, it's like Ted Bundy was caught, John Wayne Gacy was caught, Ed Gein was caught, Sam Berkowitz was caught. So Charles Manson was caught. They messed up somewhere somehow. Ed Kemper was interesting. Ed Kemper called the police and said, "Look here, I got bodies. Come and get me." He didn't put up a struggle. He didn't put up a fight. He just went in. He just took the police and said, "Look, all right, I'm good." He brutalized. I think he dismembered, the bodies as well. It was something crazy. But yeah. So just focus on that. Hemp Lord, Skylar is good money. I appreciate that, Hemp Lord. You are good money. Thank you for that donation. Respect. Salute. I appreciate that donation. Every little donation above $5 is good money to me. So I appreciate it, Hemp Lord. Thank you very much. But Maury Travis. Oh my God. He had videotapes. He videoed. Like, who does that? Who videos their brutalization of women or anyone or anything? Who does it? What kind of mindset is that? Who does that? Who does that? Other than Maury Travis and a few more others, but told y'all he was evil. Who is evil, Bumba? Who is he? Who told you he was evil? Oh, Bumba, yeah, you were the right one. Thank you, Bumba. I was you put me on to Maury Travis. I have a few, in my dossier, in my catalog that I'm going to be going over. But yeah, he's entry number 2. I thank you very much, Bumba. Salute to you. Salute to Bumba. I appreciate that, sir, because I looked him up and I was like, this can't be serious. He can't be. Nah, Bumba was just playing. Bumba was serious as colon cancer. He is as serious as I am right now. He was a diabolical fiend. He was an ugly, disgusting thing. His mom sold his murder. Yeah, that was in the. You came in late. You came in late. I'll play it again. I'll play it again. Hold on. Play it again. Hold on.
Evidence, a story that will send shivers down your spine after a St. Louis woman found out more than she ever wanted to know about the home she's renting. It sounds like a horror movie, but instead it's a real-life nightmare for this woman. She signed the lease without any fears, but it wasn't until a family member told her to check out a cold case documentary on the A&E network about serial killers. That's when she found out she was living in the same house serial killer Maury Travis used as a torture chamber. The landlord even gave her the same dining room table found in crime scene photos.
When she showed us the house, she was like, "You guys can have this table if you want." Yeah, same chairs, same table, everything. This whole basement was basically his torture chamber, and it's not okay.
Now, when the woman called her landlord begging to get out of the lease, the landlord wasn't sympathetic. Get this. You may want to know the landlord is the killer's mother. The landlord says only material defects need to be noted to renters, but the woman says she will be moving at the end of the month, and that can't come soon enough.
Wow.
Wow was right. It is right. Hold on, let me get back. Now you see, I had to play it again because Bumba, the man who brought me to Maury Travis, I appreciate that, sir. Thank you again. Salute to you. But I have to disagree with you, sir. He says his mom. That's the clip we just saw. His mom sold his murder house without telling people what happened there. She says she saw a ghost in the basement. I don't subscribe to the theory of God and the idea of ghosts and goblins and ghouls. She probably didn't, experience. She definitely didn't experience any ghosts. There's no such thing as ghosts. But Bumba has a good point. He probably learned deceit from his mom. I'm no psychologist. I'm a low rent psychologist. But that could be a possibility. I'm not ruling it out, but I can't confirm it. And I don't want a lawsuit saying that she was the one that led to all these deaths. But you can say that Bumba all you like. You say that all you like in the comment section. But yeah, so Maury Travis and he was 36 when he died. I feel like, what? He was 36. I'm 37. Jesus. Like, damn. He probably learned. Okay, this is the same thing. But it just goes to show you, anyone and anywhere, your best friend, your uncle, your niece, your nephew, because that's what I'm gonna have to get into too. Female serial killers, black female serial killers. I'm just going at the males. There could be female serial killers lurking, black female serial killers lurking right now as we speak, picking up young women or young boys or older men or something like that. Because that's the thing. They go at the most vulnerable in our society. The older people, the prostitutes, the people on the fringes of society. That's who they target because they're easy. They're like marks. They're easy. But it was like with Travis's case, it was like ballooned even wider because he was brutalizing them at the same time. He was brutalizing them. So we have to really look into that. I didn't watch any of the raw footage. I just saw the pixelated and modulated video. I never saw any of the tapes. I don't want to see the tapes. He got them from a website called, I think, Thrawler or something like that. Not trying to promote it here, but I'm just saying they put it in the news clips. They put it in the different sites and pieces of in the editor in the newspaper clips and stuff like that. They included it in there, so it's out there. I'm not in any way encouraging people to go on there. I've never gone on there. I don't plan to ever go on there. Yeah. Okay. You only saw clips in the document. Yeah. So I that's what I saw too. I only saw the clips. I didn't see, the brutalization. I didn't see that. I saw one part where it was very, very stirring, very hard to watch and listen to. He said, what are you gonna tell your kids? What do you want to tell your family? And the woman was crying, and she said, Mama, either there was a caption that said, I'm sorry, but then in other caption, other document, it said, Mama, sorry. So she was alluding to her kids. That was kind of heartbreaking. That was kind of bone chilling, that he would even have that. And he would say, you ain't do nothing with your, like, I'm paraphrasing. He's like, you didn't do nothing with your life. You're sitting here on your back smoking crack. Like, that's an indication to show that he was preying on these women in their most vulnerable states. He got caught through the internet. Yes, he did. The DNA swabs, the tracking. Yes, Expedia. He was not bright. I have to say that over and over again. He used it. This is when Expedia was really hot. I don't think it's as hot as it was. He used the site Expedia, and it showed a map, and it showed where their last web address was, their IP internet protocol address was, and it was just a series of numbers, like anybody, like this, my internet site, all of your internet sites. It's a series of numbers, but there's cryptologists and there's people that understand how to transform those numbers into letters, and it showed up to his house. Like he was not careful. He wasn't even like, it was like he was trying to get caught, which is good, but it's sad because he committed suicide. If they told him they had kids, he would be even more sadistic. Yep, facts. He wanted to embed in their minds that they were the monster, that they were evil, that they were the ones that committed such horrible things by trusting him. And I can't show it here because it's not like a news clip, but there was a woman that was sitting on a stoop. She was saying how she could have been one of his victims. She was 47 years old, and she was probably in her 30s or something like that when or her late 20s when she told an interviewer, saying that, you know, she had she had an interaction with him. She was able to escape. And Texas Carnage, where are you out there? By the grace of God, right? Texas. Don't mean to laugh, but Texas knows why I'm laughing. But I'm trying to be as serious as colorectal anal cancer. Serious business. This is serious business. That's you know what? That could be true. That could be true. Bumba says the police probably let him kill himself. I don't see why that's not impossible. Because there were supposed to be 2 guards going around, making their rounds every 30 minutes. And they even said that there's an inmate to oversee him, or, you know, watch his moves. What? How you let the inmate has nothing to do? That's why I knew this was like, that had my head, I was scratching my head. I'm like, an inmate? You mean guards? That's what you meant, guards, you know, every 30 minutes checking up on him. There was a 45-minute window that made him able to commit suicide, essentially. So I cannot confirm it on my channel. I cannot confirm that the police had anything to do with it, but it was still sloppy. It was very sloppy. I thought that was sloppy as hell. How the 2 guards, whether they were, you know, gaffing off or, you know, not paying attention, and 40, oh no, he's hanging up. What? He killed like 20 women. Well, confirmed were 12 women, and they suspected 17, 5 more to make it 17, and it could be more. I think you're right, but you have to say alleged. He allegedly killed like 20 women in 2 years. He allegedly killed 20 women. It's confirmed that he killed 12, which is just off the charts insane. Just 1 is insane, but 12 and possibly 17, maybe more, 20, 30, we don't know. But he was sloppy. He was real sloppy. It was a good thing that he was sloppy. And it's a good thing that we have technology nowadays. We have DNA, we have the internet, we have all these different facets of our technologically advanced society that prevents these things from happening. Bummer, you're coming in late, but yeah, that's true. I was saying how he had a rough sketch of what he wanted to do. He wanted to make cells in his dungeon, in his lair, for women to be bound and gagged, I guess. Could be anybody. I said that before. The neighbor to the left, the neighbor to the right. You don't know. You don't know what's going on in their basement, which is good, but it's also a detriment. It's very, you know, it's very rough. It's horrific to even consider this. Bumba, he was only out of prison for a couple of years. So yeah, he had other run-ins. He had like a He had something with a car. He had a theft or something like that. I can't remember exactly. I just focused on the murders, but he also had various run-ins with the law previous to being caught for the murders. I'm telling you, this Maury Travis was garbage. He was just garbage. He went to prison for armed robbery. Thank you. He went to prison for armed robbery. That's true. And theft is something else too. I don't know if it was a car theft or something else that had to do with thievery, along with the armed robbery. And then he got out. He was in jail for like 5 years or something like that, and then he got out. That's the weird part of freedom. That's the weird situation we have. We don't want to be shackled as you and I, who I'm talking to. I think is what I'm what I'm suggesting is that you, the viewer, the listener, are not a serial killer. But how am I supposed to know? I don't know if Bumba's a serial killer. I suggest he's not. I don't know if Texas is a serial killer. Maybe he could be the Christian killer. I don't know. I'm not trying to laugh, but he was crying to the judge to let him out. He made a whole what's it called? He made a statement. He made a document documenting how he should be let out of jail. I remember that. That's a fact. So he was Bumba saying he was crying to the judge to let him out early. Yup. Those are all facts. He wrote in handwriting, in longhand. That's the question of our freedoms, of our liberty. He was free to do all this. Maybe in the future we're going to have, I don't want it, but everybody's going to be assigned a cyborg or a synthetic creature that's going to watch their every move. I don't want this. This is like 1984 Big Brother stuff. Yo, Cream TV, salute to you, sir. Salute to you. Salute Cream TV. I don't want that, but it could possibly happen. And then what will happen to those cyborgs and synthetic beings? They will be decommissioned. They will be tortured and brutalized themselves and, discarded of. So, I mean, there's really, the only way to do it is philosophy. That's the only way to do it. Proper philosophy. Doesn't have to be objectivism. I would say, okay, we're not talking about Diddy, Cream TV. We're not talking about Diddy. Maury looked evil. I don't want to say people look evil. Anybody could look evil. Quote unquote, 50 Cent looks evil. Quote unquote, Prince looked evil when he was alive. He had a weird look in his eyes. It seemed very strong, like. But I don't like to say people look evil. You can't really go by looks, because some people are the nicest people in the world and they just look disgruntled and angry and mean. Mike Tyson could be an example. Mike Tyson, brutal, very vicious, very harsh, but he loves pigeons. And he hasn't committed, to my knowledge, he's committed no murders. He's committed rape, but he's not committed murder, to my knowledge. Yeah, Bumba. Yeah, he probably read Marquis de Sade too. That's what he's saying. He probably read de Sade too. Yeah, Marquis de Sade. Yeah, he had some writings. If you ever look at the movie Quills, this man was using his own excrement to write on the walls of the sanitarium where they placed him. This guy was out there. He was real crazy. And that's the amazing thing about literature. The opposite of Sade is masoch. Masochism is when you want to yourself brutalized. Mainly men. But that's the reality of it all. Maury Travis, he started, I think, in the late 90s and in 2000s. Was captured, put in a cell, put cotton balls in his mouth, somehow shackled his hands behind his back, got some kind of wire or belt or some kind of apparatus and was found in the cell. Come on now. I mean, I can see why people say, like, okay, now the police really, like, I'm still pissed at the two guards. I'm not really mad at the inmate. The inmate is an inmate. What the hell is he supposed to do? Oh yeah, we're gonna have the inmate check on him. What the hell? That makes no sense at all. No, makes no sense whatsoever for him to check on him. So his suicide note was weird. He talked about, that's where I got the point where he said he was messed up in the head since he was 14. And, you know, he showed no remorse whatsoever for whatever for all the wrong he did. He showed no remorse in the letter. Not one inkling of saying, I wish I didn't do anything. I mean, it doesn't help anything, of course, but it just shows you the mind state that he was in, the rotten brain, as Gen Z like to say. Even though that's not the same thing, they use it for different reasons. But yeah, he had a rotten brain, absolutely. He just said he didn't want the needle, and he didn't want to have life imprisonment. That's what he said. He didn't want the needle. He didn't even put from what I saw, he didn't even put an N. It just said Edel, Eedle, in the writing. So I think with, you know, Maury Travis, and forgive me if I say Travis Maury. I hope I didn't say that. But Maury Travis, I mean, just the Streetwalker Strangler. There's another one. Like, why do serial killers get these? They're almost cute. They're like, oh, well, he's the Streetwalker Strangler. Oh, he's the Tangerine Murderer. Like, why do we have to have these names? Only if it helps the investigation. That's the only thing I can say. That these names should come up. The Southside Strangler. You know what? The police who saw the tapes had to get therapy. Wow, I didn't know. I didn't see that in my research. That's new to me. That's new to me. And I said that before in another broadcast. I say police, military, they turn to drugs and alcohol. They have to go to therapy. They go to Al-Anon because they see it. They're the one that you have to be a certain type of individual to be able to, you know, assess what kind of terrible, horrific, you know, traumatic scenes that you are going to encounter during your tour of your tour of duty. That's serious. That's very serious. Thousands, if not millions, of police officers and military men and women see the worst things ever in human history. So it's only right that they get therapy. So I'm not surprised that the police got therapy, but Maury Travis definitely going down in history as, you know, one of the worst human beings of all time. You know, it's and that's an interesting thing about the mother, though. That was interesting. When I saw that clip and I saw her name Travis, I was like, Travis? Like, really? She sold the house, or she rented the house out to this woman. Just don't tell them about the murder, the dungeon where women were brutalized. Just leave that. Why you gotta explain that? Why you gotta put that in the papers? She followed all the protocol, though. I'm putting the blame on her, but it could also be upon our real estate strictures and structures of our real estate and parameters. Bumba said, and she wouldn't let her out the lease after she found it. Yeah, that is foul. And she may be dealing with her own trauma. You gave birth to a horrible monster. That's traumatic. You gave birth to a person that did the most foul things to human beings and animals and everything like that, but that led up to the human beings. That's disturbing. And so she might be, I don't know. I don't want to, speculate, but there could be a chance where she could have been saying like, oh no, he didn't even do all that. Like, I don't know. I'm alleging. It's all alleged. But he didn't do that. This house is fine. It's all right. It's standing, isn't it? You see, they had clips like you saw in the news clip. The news clip showed the very table from crime scene investigation photographs where he placed items. He had items on the table. And that was the same exact table that the lady that was trying to buy the house or rent a house where she was trying to get there. Where is that link? Where's that link? Where they need a link like they had with Expedia. Like I just thought that was the way it played out was just. It just made so much more sense when the police and the investigators got a hold of it. There's a big pillar in the basement where he would tie the victims. Looks super creepy. Yeah. Very creepy stuff. Very scary, weird, terrible stuff. That's all this is. So it's just a piece of history that we have to look at. We have to analyze. We have to assess. I mean, there's people with PhDs, or is it just PhD? Or people with doctorates that are trying to work through these things. I mean, there's so many things that go on. There's terrorism. There's gang activity. I'm just gonna say gang activity because there's murders involved with gang activity, and there's it's just a very difficult thing for. There's special units. The FBI added a unit called I can't remember what it's exactly called, but I think it's behavioral activities unit or something like that. Behavioral specificity unit. I can't remember what it's called, but the FBI, and there was a really good show called what was it? I can't remember. What was it? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up right now. Hold on. Well, there's also shows like Criminal Minds or CSI or stuff like that. But there's this really one FBI series. Mindhunter. That thing was the truth. It only had 2 seasons, but it covered a lot. Behavioral Science Unit. That's it. BSU. It only lasted for 2 seasons. I don't know. Maybe it was too dark. It was. I don't know. I can't blame. What's it called? You can't blame. What's it called? COVID. You can't blame COVID. It was in 2019. But they got Dennis Rader. They had Ed Kemper. They had Joseph Cross. Wayne Williams. David Berkowitz, excuse me. Son of Sam, but David Berkowitz is his name. William Jr. Pierce. I mean, it just goes on and on. We have to really look into all these. The FBI and the CIA are dealing with counterterrorism and We're dealing with, you know, possible wars with the United States because of Iran, which we should have done, you know, 40 years ago plus, but that's another story. 46 years ago to be specific. Leonard Lake was like a white Maury Travis. Oh my God! Now I gotta look up Leonard Lake. Was he on the show? Lake? No. This was an excellent show, though. 2 seasons. It was very well written, very well directed, great acting. Leonard Lake. That's what I'm looking up right now. Lake. Never convicted for murder. 11 confirmed, 25 suspected. From 1983 to 1985. He met Charles Ng. He was with Charles Ng. Thank you for bringing up Charles Ng the other day. I appreciate that, Bumba. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not just, I seriously mean that. He killed himself when he was arrested too. Yep. I can kill all these other people. I can kill myself too. Why not? The insanity. But like, we live lives. I hope you guys are living beautiful lives like I live my beautiful life. I live my beautiful life every day. I always live my life the best it can possibly be. I wake up, I write, I research. It's a great life. But, you know, who knows what could happen? You know, there could be some zesty nigga. Think he's like straight and cool and everything. And I'm gonna introduce you to some girls. Yeah, and then I could be out of here. It's possible. Like, none of these victims, there's thousands of victims. They didn't think at one point in their life, you know what? I could be brutalized and killed by a serial killer one day. Huh. Well, how about that? He had poison hidden in his clothes. He was prepared. Wow. Had cyanide capsule or something. Oh, the cops is coming? Maury Travis. And let me put this on the line. Hold on. I got a lot of subscriptions today. So I'm gonna put in the write-up I did. I did a write-up. Hopefully it fits. I don't think it's gonna fit. All right, so that's the link for my vocal.media. If you want to check out the in-depth kind of coverage that I did in writing, you can check that out. Check out vocal.media/criminal/African American Serial Killers Part 2 QIEWZOE3S. Just copy that, paste it, send it to somebody saying, yo, this silly nigga Sky is trying to get serious. I don't know. I did hear the Candyman. The Candyman was a real person. Other than the movie, I don't think the movie had anything to do with the real Candyman. I did hear about that. I think that was actually on the Mindhunters show. I think I remember hearing about. Give me some more information about him, Bumba. It might jog my memory, but I think I did hear about Candyman. And it's not John Wayne Gacy, is it? Is it John Wayne Gacy the Candyman? Because I know he was a clown, and I think he gave out candy and stuff like that, but I don't know if that's the same person. I'm gonna look for another clip though. It's kind of hard because only news clips suffice, or else I'll be getting a copyright warning. I'm gonna try to find it. I don't even want to do A&E. That might be crazy. They'd be like, oh, no, you can't use our content. But ABC News, NBC News, let me see. See, they're playing. This is not fun. This is not fun. That was the only clip I can use. That's the only clip I can use. There's no other Maury Travis. There's Travis McMichael. That's what I'm seeing in the Amber Heard case. And that's the interesting thing about DNA. DNA has the power to free people who have been locked up for 30, 40 years, 50 years. It has the power to do that. At the same time, it can put people behind bars. There's a man that was convicted of, what is this? TV time? No, can't do TV time warp. No. You know what? You know what? I don't know if I want to do it. I might do it. I'll just get a copyright strike or warning. I'll do it. A&E. Here's A&E. Hold on. It's A&E. Hold on. It's A&E, folks. So I don't know if they're going to be like, oh, you can't use our content. Oh, but it's A&E. It's official. So here we go. He looks like a Lego character. I just wanted to say that, just for a little bit of levity. He looks like his haircut looks like he looks like a Lego character. But he's a good guy. He's one of the heroes. One of my heroes is a journalist. He's one of my journalistic heroes. I just wanted to say that. Bumba said Bill Curtis documentaries are fire. 08 Justin Bieber hair having. I put the having. That's definitely a two-page. Yeah, that's a piece. That's a piece. He's in middle age. He doesn't have that much hair. Let's be real. All right, I'll continue it. And this could be a copyright warning. It's probably going to be a copyright warning. Notice what the audio said from A&E. I got other reports. I can't remember where the other ones came from. But that's what I wanted to get to. I want to get to that point where he said, Mama, sorry. Not I'm sorry. Some outlets said that she said, I'm sorry. But she was saying, Mama, sorry. Mama, sorry. That's heavy. That's heavy. That's very telling, very strong, very, horrific, just brutal. As the investigator once said, he said they're just brutal. That he was a psychopathic killer. He was psychopathic, not sociopathic. That's a misnomer. Psychopathic. He has something wrong with his brain. The way it functioned was wrong. So I want to just give you that. Don't forget about my my story on Vocal.media. I know it's a long title. Just type in African American Serial Killers Part 2. If you go to Vocal.media to search, my name should pop up. Just put in my name, SKYLER space SAUNDERS, and go to my channel or my profile, and you'll find it. It should be, if it's not at the top, it should be close to the top. And I appreciate everybody for contributing. Thank you, Bumba. Salute to you, sir. You have a wealth of knowledge. I appreciate. Thank you, Texas, for hating. But I'm as serious as colorectal anal cancer right now. I'm doing this series. So check me out. Let 10 other people know, yeah, this silly nigga Sky is being serious right now. So I appreciate everybody that came into the room. And I will see you tomorrow with a new investigative story. Thank you very much. Take care.